Well, it's that time of year again. Spirit in the air, you know? December is my favorite month. July and November coming in a close second and third. Christmas, my parents closing their divorce. And a new month means a new lineup for Games with Gold. Crazy. December seems to always give the best games with gold, bearing classic titles such as Gears of War, Thief, Sleeping Dogs, Outlast, Warhammer Vermintide, Celeste, and Back to the Future, the game, the 30th year anniversary edition. But of all Decembers, this month has provided quite nicely. You see, as a gamer, I live and breathe violence. I may or may not do things in games that would be looked down upon in today's society.
How about another joke, Murray?
No, I think we've had enough of you.
But you can't tell me it's not fun to turn on cheats and rain hellfire on an unsuspecting civilization. But on the Games with Gold lineup this month, I found the most violent one of all. One that literally allows you to punt small little orphan children. The Toy Story 3 movie tie-in video game. Side note, if you thought this intro was in poor taste, strap your seatbelt and buckle your britches because this is going to be a long ride. Released in June of 2010, the Toy Story 3 video game was made playable on Nintendo DS, PlayStation 2 and 3, PSP, Wii, Windows, Xbox 360, Map, and Leapster. It was on fucking Leapster. The game received mixed reviews overall. The game was praised for its appeal to children and adults alike, and its faithful similarity to the movies, but it was ridiculed for having boring and repetitive gameplay. Looking back, I feel like the game has aged well, at least compared to anti-vax children. The opening menu fills you with a wave of nostalgia as you hear the sweet voice of Randy Newman.
You gotta be in my ass.
Shortly before getting to the gameplay, you're introduced to the most 2010 loading screen I have ever seen. The game begins with you playing as Sheriff Jim Hanks, no, not Tom Hanks, himself riding his trusty steed, attempting to catch a runaway train full of orphans. Seemingly out of nowhere, the evil Dr. Porkchop arrives to delay Sheriff Jim. And so the adventure begins. You're off, riding through collapsing terrain whilst avoiding lasers being shot from the discs Buzz jumped on back in Toy Story 2. You then approach the train, and the real fun begins. They somehow managed to turn Toy Story into a third-person shooter, and I couldn't enjoy it anymore. You make your way to the engine of the train, fighting enemies and saving orphans along the way. Buzz is just a pesky bitch the whole way up there. You can also just literally obliterate a cow for a collectible. You kill the big bad, and bang, prologue done, 8 out of 10. Suddenly we're back to reality, and one of the strongest parts of this game starts to shine. The plot. If you aren't playing this game for the plot, you will drive yourself insane. It is now revealed that the game is taking place shortly after the third movie has ended, where Andy's toys are now recounting their countless adventures to Bonnie's toys. Not too long after, Mr. Fucknuts Rex the dinosaur stumbles upon the scene, destroying everything, forcing you to rebuild the game map by playing every level. This might just compete with Minecraft Story Mode. This level has zero introduction whatsoever. They just say that they need to get the phone so they can do what they did at the beginning of the movie, which is call Andy's cell phone from the home phone. Also, the level design in this one is particularly bad, as you're able to just skip entire portions of levels just by moving physics objects around.
Maybe you're looking for something particular.
The tutorials scattered amongst the level, trying to show you what to do, are some of the longest and most painfully hard to watch tutorials I have ever seen. The platforming itself, though, is quite decent. Each character, though, has its own unique characteristics. Buzz is able to throw characters farther than anyone else. Jessie can jump on things that are thin. And Woody can use his voice box string as a lasso. As soon as I got the phone, I decided to destroy it. Rex is a dumbass as always, and has somehow not gotten the home phone yet, so we have to go and get it ourselves. As we T-pose down the chute, Jesse doesn't stick the landing. And now we have to perform a stupid paratrooper minigame to get the home phone down, instead of just going there ourselves. Now we're introduced to my biggest enemy in this entire game. The Tube of Failure. This tube made me cry several times as a child when I played this game. Jesse, for some reason, is sometimes able to jump extremely high for no reason. As the paratroopers land with the phone, their parachutes disappear into oblivion because they are actually elder gods. Woody discovers Rex watching hentai and muzzles him to death. 4 out of 10. This game finally answers the question of what the Buzz Lightyear video game would be like, and it's alright. With a rapid trigger finger and common sense, the beginning's a breeze, and probably goes on for a bit longer than it should. Buzz lands and immediately is bombarded by asteroids. This part is extremely fun, even though it's the most linear section of the level. It just feels really cool to be Buzz. And then you die. After being resurrected by the toy gods, you see that the planet is in shambles. I made sure to get every coin at the beginning. This platforming section gets old extremely fast. Break rock, jump on rock, sometimes miss rock, sometimes hit rock, and die anyway. Repeat. The enemies are super annoying. If they hit you in the air, you become stunned and can't move. You eventually have to destroy crystals to create air geysers to progress. But the lock-on is so shit, you have to keep re-aiming to try and hit the son of a bitch. You eventually make it to the entrance of Zurg's lair. Buzz becomes animated in a different style for just a moment. Zurg's lair is the same level repeated twice, with the second one being slightly harder. Break crystal, overhead section, dodge stuff, spinny thingy, colored tiles. With the overhead section, I found myself taking damage from lasers I jumped over, and damage from nothing at all sometimes. I also died multiple times to the colored tiles the second time, and the game felt so bad for me, it announced my stupidity and made it easier. Once you finally reach Zurg, shoot weak spot, DPS, kill ads, repeat twice, and shamalama ding dong, you're done. Zurg floats away, 6 out of 10.
Welcome to Sunnyside, folks.
We are now at Sunnyside Daycare, where Lotso is throwing a carnival because of our arrival. He talks way too long for unskippable dialogue. Lotso at the end mentions a scavenger hunt. This will be important later. As soon as you walk away, you encounter Bugman with his horse game. Pop balloons, easy enough. But there is a secret enemy in this challenge. The camera. Jesus, I get whiplash from watching this shit. Suddenly, on the way to the next challenge, I happened upon my father's gun. Next we have genocide the aliens as they try to escape to freedom. There are regular aliens, astronaut aliens, and badass aliens, but I think Buzz put it into words best.
Quite challenging. Nicely done.
After sparing one dirty alien, Chunk praised my efforts. Then, on the way to the next challenge, I happened upon my father's cape. I moved on to the final challenge. It's literally the horse game with less balloons and shitty controls. And then finally I see it, sitting on the table by Lotso on my way to return to him. Happy of my accomplishments, I see it. The sick bastard. The scavenger hunt was hiding the remains of my father. He had placed his decapitated head right on the desk. He knew I would see it when he returned. I went to go speak to him about this nonsensical evil, but the level ended. That's the whole level. 2 out of 10. Just to get it out of the way, this is by far my favorite level. This is the first level that Avalanche had full creative freedom on, and they knocked it out of the park. The previous levels were all exposition, but now we're a part of a story. The evil witch is pouring coffee non-stop, forcing you to platform up and up and up. The level design is impeccable, a perfect balance of difficulty and fun factor. I don't know how this book didn't crush me here. Suddenly, as you reach the top, the rest of the level is revealed, alongside rail mechanics, which are amazing. This whole level feels like a well-loved project. Once you get to the rocket, you have to power each of the 3 sections of the ship. For the nose, you learn the basics of the rails as you collect 3 batteries from 3 different sections of the map. You then transition to the middle and tail, where rail difficulty ramps up. Rails breaking, more caterpillars, and collapsing sections of the ship come at you every which way. Once inside, the batteries for the center are pretty straightforward, unless you're me. I didn't realize you shouldn't throw the battery here at this section for about 10 minutes. You approach the main console, you fly away. 11 out of 10. Level 6 cuts to you helping your friends escape from Sunnyside Daycare. Woody talks to the grate because he's fucking delusional and imagines what his response would have been. The vent tells Woody what he already knew and lets him go by using his flaccid hook to open the gate. If you haven't guessed it, this is a stealth level, and oh my god, it's so shitty. Sometimes they see you, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're hidden, sometimes you're not. Before we can get Buzz back, he's also touring the room along with the cars. Buzz has the accuracy of relatable content, but he's as jumpy as a Vietnam vet. I'm so fucking awful. You get Jesse back by pressing a button, and that's it. Next is Ham, whose gate monitors have the attention span of a zoomer. I wasn't able to notice that the red aura surrounding him wasn't from his own power, but a camera that sends you back to the beginning of the level. Oh yeah, getting caught anywhere puts you back at the beginning of the level. Platform here and there, push button, Ham is free. I thought you were supposed to change Buzz back, but every time I got close he shot me like a rabid animal. So I moved on to the rabid animal. And his route to the button was the most creative, but it really didn't save the level. There's a little memory light game, yeah. And that's it, 5 out of 10. Oh my god. I also didn't realize my mic was on, so here's some snippets of me complaining throughout the level. Ay. Thank you, camera, for not working in my favor whatsoever. Oh my god. Buzz is sniping me. Buzz is straight up sniping me. That's not cool. Buzz should not be able to just snipe. Oh my fucking god, I have to use Jesse. Oh my! There's a heavily visible... What is wrong with me? Oh my god, I'm going to fume. The camera! Camera! This is not epic. Yo, the vent opened with Rex's telekinetic powers, apparently, and it closed behind him. And Rex is now screaming in the vent because he is a little man baby. And so I murdered him. I do declare, the McRib is back. What the fuck? You, game! Shut up! Yippee-dee! Why won't you just shut the fuck up? I'm wasting so much space on my computer filming this shit. I'm gonna punch your head off with one punch! Wah-ha-ha! Yes, Woody's famous phrase, wah-ha-ha. I'm Woody!